first topic of the night. Well, by the way, let me reintroduce everybody for those that are just listening right now. This is the Nick D at Night presents Oral Stimulation radio show brought to you by Nick D at Night and the good people with Nick D. We also have my chocolate teddy tag partner, a.k.a. riding shotgun.
The one and only, baby. J-Rock's in the building. What's up, peoples?
So, he's in the building. We also have the lovely, beautiful Redbone herself, Miss Amaj.
Good evening, good people.
So she's here holding it down, guest host with us tonight. So I want to jump right into the conversation. We brought this conversation up on Facebook. I know we're on Facebook Live right now. I want to talk about it: professional versus personal relationships.
All right.
We all have them. I tell people all the time, you have 168 hours in a day. Most of the time when you're dealing with professional people, you're dealing with them sometimes 40 plus hours a day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're doing business with people outside of your personal life. How far is too far, Jarvis, would you say, when a relationship has gone too personal from that professional relationship?
I mean, professional, it's just that word is professional. I mean, it's what you can make of it. But when you're talking about professional, that means it's just strictly business only. It ain't, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Platonic?
Yes, platonic. Strictly platonic.
Strictly platonic. And, when you get into a physical aspect of a business relationship, mm-hmm. that's when things get complicated. And to me, that's when it either it should end, or as adults, you come to an understanding, but some people can't do that.
Some people can't do that. I mean, I agree. Some people can't come to that. Now, me and you could go back and forth about this all day long. But since we do have a female in the building, I want to get her opinion. What is your take, Amaj, on how far is too far when in a relationship between professional and personal? How far is too far? Uh-oh, she's thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
Too far is anything that's not business. I'm sorry.
Sums it up.
Anything that does not have anything to do with the business, it's way too far. You have to separate the two if that's what you're going to do.
So let me give you an example. So I'm just going to use you for an example. I won't use you as for example. I'll use
me. It's okay.
So you basically.
Yes, use it.
You basically. Okay. So Dre and you, because shout out to Dre, by the way, the host of the show with you.
That's my best friend.
So that's your best friend. Okay, that's great example. So you and Dre are, let's say you guys are out one night. You guys are having fun with some group of friends. Uh-huh. And you're like, yo, Dre's like, you know what? I don't want this party to end. I want to go. Let's go hang out. Let's go hang out somewhere. So y'all go hang out. Y'all start drinking. You start telling him about some things. Next thing you know, he goes to hug you. Y'all start making out. Have you crossed that line at that point?
Yes. You have crossed the line way too much, because that's just too much, because that's like for me, that's my best friend. Mm-hmm. And so that's way too far. That goes against all the code that we have. Like, That's not only just my best friend, that's my co-host on the code. That's my party partner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going too far if you reach that point.
So if you reach that point,
it's gone too far.
Now, here's my take on it. I mean, one time's a mistake, but if you do it a second time, it was intentional. That's my take. So, like,
I mean, you know what you're doing. No matter how many times it happens, you know what you're doing from the start.
Right.
I mean, you know if it's wrong, you know if it's right.
We're all adults.
Yeah. That's the whole bottom line, is being an adult about it. I mean, if it starts that way and you can't say, okay, hold up, wait a minute, we need to stop this right now. We need to cut this off at the head. Just leave it be. We are professionals, and if it can't be that way, then we need to go our separate ways.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the only way. That's the only way you can make that relationship continue, I guess.
Right. Now, there are some would say beg to differ. Hey, it's nothing wrong with simple flirting. It's just flirting. It's not nothing bad, but...
You know what? One of my watchers on my live feed says, or you've had secret feelings for all the whole time anyway. So now you're
That's
probably
true.
acting on
And
that.
acting out, yeah.
Because
Wow.
especially if you're using the scenario that you used, and we've been out, we've been drinking. Most people's truth comes out in their truth serum.
Yeah, alcohol usually tells the
So
truth.
I mean, I agree. I just, like I said, I have experienced that on more than one occasion. I mean, I'll give a story. Like I said, I've told the story. It happened 10 years ago. I was working at a job as a collector. As a mortgage collector. Great job. Saw this girl that I knew from high school. I told a coworker, hey, I'm going to get her. She's like, no, you're not. So me and her started hanging out. We started texting. We started hanging out. One thing led to another. We kind of hooked up. Videos were done. Next thing you know, the video was got passed around the building, which it didn't. I did show a couple people, which again, I was like, what, 24? So I was young. Honestly, I didn't know any better.
Be ashamed of yourself.
But I got let go from the job. I say all that. I did. Because, that's because I did. I showed people. So, that was a fireable offense.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I say all that to say that I should not have went there at that point. I should not have shown that video. Was it dumb of me? Yes. It happened. But I say all that to say it's a lesson learned. That's why now it's very seldom that, like, in my work job, I very seldom will hook up or date somebody at the job. It's happened. I'm not gonna front. It's happened again since, but I just choose not to do it because of that reason. Because again, you're crossing that line. Because if you guys break up and it gets messy, now you got to see this person every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
That's what you got to deal with. I guess the business part of it, continues, and then you got the personal feelings, and yeah, that's why it's just best just to cut it off, and then not even get involved with your coworkers if you can help it. Like Kenyatta just said, we're all human. So an adult gonna do what an adult wants to do.
Exactly. And you have to deal with the consequences
yes, exactly.
of being said adult.
But again, if you don't have that again, I feel though a conversation should be had at that point too. A conversation. You should address that. See, that's the problem. A lot of times what people happen is we don't address that conversation, or we tiptoe around it because we don't want to address it. It's, why did we do that?
And to me, that's a maturity thing. If you can't be an adult and come to another adult and speak your mind without a blow up happening or just, anything out of the ordinary, then